From our Toronto studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I am Ahmed Ramadan. The Muslim Legal Fund of America, MLFA, and the CAIR Legal Defense Fund, CAIR LDF, today filed a federal lawsuit against Texas Governor Greg Abbott and Attorney General Ken Paxton. The lawsuit asks the court to block enforcement of Abbott's unconstitutional and defamatory November 18th proclamation. This proclamation falsely declared the Texas chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations a foreign terrorist organization. It also threatened various civil penalties against the civil rights organization if it continues to serve the people of Texas. In a powerful show of unity, more than 110 organizations across the United States have signed a statement of solidarity with the Council on American Islamic Relations, or CAIR, after Texas Governor Greg Abbott banned the country's largest Muslim civil rights organization. Abbott, on Wednesday, designated CAIR a foreign terrorist organization. The statement, launched by national human rights organization Justice for All, denounces the governor's move as a dangerous assault on civil liberties and the U.S. Constitution. Faith leaders, mosques, advocacy groups, and civil society organizations say the designation is Islamophobic and legally baseless. They warn that it sets a dangerous precedent targeting an entire community for its civic engagement and activism. This is not just an attack on CAIR, it's an attack on the Bill of Rights, the statement said, calling on all Americans to stand up against what it describes as authoritarian overreach. Signatories include major national Muslim organizations, the Association of Physicians of Pakistani Descent of North America, the Muslim American Society, Yankasa Association, and Muslim Matters, as well as key allies such as Green Faith, Hope Will Charities, Community Alliance for Peace and Justice, Council of Islamic Organizations of Greater Chicago, and Virginia. Meanwhile, the U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations is urging American Muslims to stand with the Council on American Islamic Relations, or CAIR, after the bigoted move by Texas Governor Greg Abbott. President Donald Trump says he will meet New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani at the White House on Friday. The announcement comes after weeks of Trump targeting Mamdani as a communist and backing his rival, Andrew Cuomo. Trump posted on Truth Social that Mamdani requested the meeting and that it would take place in the Oval Office. Mamdani is the first Muslim and South Asian to be elected mayor of the country's largest city. He won this month after a progressive campaign focused on affordability and social services. During the race, Trump repeatedly attacked the 34-year-old Democratic Socialist. He threatened to cut federal funding to New York if Mamdani won. Mamdani says he is willing to speak with Trump, but he adds that he will not take part in any discussion that comes at the expense of New Yorkers. The federal case against former FBI Director James Comey is facing a serious setback. On Wednesday, prosecutors admitted the full grand jury never saw the final indictment. Interim U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan told the judge that only the four-person and one juror reviewed the edited version submitted to the court. She also confirmed there were two versions of the indictment. Defense lawyers argued the revelation means no valid indictment was ever returned. They said the case should be thrown out. Comey is accused of lying to Congress over his handling of the FBI's 2016 Russia investigation. He was fired by President Donald Trump in 2017 while overseeing that probe. Judge Michael Nachmanoff has warned prosecutors that repeated errors may have undermined the integrity of the proceedings. He ordered all grand jury materials be handed to the defense. A federal appeals court has paused a major order that restricted how immigration agents could use force in Chicago and its suburbs. The Seventh Circuit halted the injunction issued by Judge Sarah Ellis. She had barred federal officers from using tear gas, pepper balls, and other crowd control weapons except in cases of immediate threat. The injunction came after Chicago media groups sued, accusing Border Patrol and ICE agents of brutality during raids. Witnesses testified that guns were pointed at them and that they were hit with pepper balls while documenting arrests. The Justice Department appealed, calling the order unworkable. The appeals court will fast-track the case, but cautioned that Wednesday's stay should not be overread. The appellate court said it had not ruled out future relief. Israeli airstrikes hit Gaza again, violating the UN-mandated ceasefire. At least 33 Palestinians were killed, including 20 women and children. Another 88 people were injured in the past day, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. The attacks came less than 48 hours after the UN Security Council approved a 20-point plan for Gaza pushed by the United States. Despite the ceasefire, media outlets say more than 350 Palestinians have been killed in the 5.5 weeks of Israeli strikes since the truce between Israel and Hamas began. Qatar condemned the latest attacks. Its foreign ministry said the strikes were a dangerous escalation that could collapse the ceasefire. UN Special Rapporteur Balakrishnan Rajagopal said Israel's destruction of homes, even during the truce, was part of an act of genocide. Israel's genocide in Gaza has killed more than 69,546 people and wounded 170,833 since October 2023. UK vows action as anti-Muslim hate rises. Details coming up after the break. Investigators raided the Kashmir Times office in Jammu early Thursday, deepening concerns about shrinking media freedom in Indian-occupied Kashmir. The raid follows a police case accusing the outlet of anti-national activities and attempts to spread disaffection. Officials seized documents, computers, and digital equipment and are expected to question managing editor Anuradha Bhasin, who now lives in the United States, along with editor Prabodh Jamwal. The Kashmir Times, founded by veteran journalist Ved Bhasin, is one of the region's oldest English-language newspapers. Its print edition has been suspended and it now operates online. Rights groups say independent journalism in Indian-occupied Kashmir has faced relentless pressure since 2019. That year, India's government stripped the region of its historic special autonomous status under the Indian constitution. Bhasin called the raid another attempt to silence the media. She said the accusations aim to intimidate and delegitimize critical reporting. In a statement, she urged authorities to end the harassment and respect press freedom. She said journalism is not a crime and accountability is not treason, adding that the state may raid an office but cannot raid a commitment to the truth. The British Prime Minister has called rising anti-Muslim hatred shameful and said the country must confront it. Keir Starmer made the remarks during Prime Minister's questions in the Parliament. Labour MP Afzal Khan had asked what steps the government would take to counter growing racism and Islamophobia. Starmer said the rise in incidents is unacceptable and must be tackled. He said the government is increasing funding to protect mosques and Muslim faith schools across the country. He added that a new fund will help monitor anti-Muslim hate. Starmer also said the government is continuing work on defining anti-Muslim hatred as November marks Islamophobia Awareness Month. The Prime Minister added that anti-Muslim hatred has no place in British society and that protecting communities remains a priority. Uzbekistan's First Lady, Zirot Mirziyoyeva, has been named one of the 100 most influential women shaping global pediatric cancer care. The recognition comes from Onco Daily, which praised her growing role in improving childhood cancer survival, especially in low and middle-income countries. Mirziyoyeva chairs the Zamin International Public Foundation and has pushed major reforms in early detection and treatment. She is helping align Uzbekistan's health goals with global standards through the National Strategy to Combat Childhood Cancer, which aims for a 60% survival rate by 2030. Her work gained global attention this year when she co-chaired a high-level UN forum with the World Health Organization and St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. The event urged stronger international cooperation to expand access to quality cancer care for children. Analysts say her inclusion in the list reflects the impact of Uzbekistan's health reforms and her leadership in pediatric oncology, rehabilitation, and social support. Tanzania's president says the country's post-election violence is damaging its international reputation and could make it harder to secure loans. Samia Suluhu Hassan spoke while swearing in new ministers on Tuesday. She said the clashes that followed October's dispute vote had tarnished Tanzania's image. She had urged her team to rely more on domestic revenue as the country still depends heavily on foreign aid. The election saw 3 days of confrontation between protesters and security forces after Hassan's main rivals were barred from running. Rights groups and the UN say the death toll may be in the hundreds. The government calls those numbers exaggerated. Hundreds were arrested on treason charges, though some were later released after the president intervened. Hassan won with more than 97% of the vote. Her new cabinet includes her daughter and son-in-law. African Union observers say the poll fell short of international standards, a claim the government rejects. A major new study says the world's fast-growing appetite for ultra-processed foods is driving chronic disease. Experts writing in the British medical journal The Lancet warn these products are replacing fresh food in many countries. They say this shift is worsening diets and raising the risk of obesity, heart disease, diabetes, depression, and early death. Researchers have found that ultra-processed foods now make up more than half of daily calories in the UK and the US. Consumption is rising fast in China, Mexico, Spain, and Brazil. The study says big food companies use huge marketing budgets and political influence to block regulation. The global sector is worth nearly $2 trillion. Scientists are calling for clearer labeling, limits on advertising, and bans in schools and hospitals. They also urge taxes on selected products to support cheaper, fresh food. As well, they say only coordinated government action can reverse the trend. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Salam.